Today's eMoney tip of the week is on the technique of illustrating for a client whether they should pick a lump sum or they should take the pension when they have a traditional pension. So let's start off. We have our sample client here, Pam and Jim Helpert. We're going to go under facts, and you're going to show the pension and the income. So if a client has a pension, there's two different schools of thoughts, and the one that we predominantly like to do is we like to show the pension amount, because that's what's due to them. The income of their pension is what's due, and it's a secondary option to take the lump sum. And really, when you look at pension paperwork, that's how it's set up, right? That's why a spouse has to notarize that they gave up this option. So we always want to show in the base plan, but you can do it the other way. That's the way we show and the way we're going to illustrate it here. So you'll want to add, go down to income, and you'll want to add. We always go into base facts, not advanced facts on our team. I have other eMoney tip of the weeks why I talk in great detail about why we do that. But you would want to go here to deferred income. So once you click on deferred income, this is where you'll be able to put the pension. This will be able to put that in. So you would put the pension, right? We would put the owner, this one case Pam Helpert, when it starts. Then you'd put when it stops. So if we're assuming they're going to take the joint life, and you can build out other scenarios where they don't take the joint life, and depends on how you want to do that. Then we put the annual amount, and we go under advanced. I actually already have this one for sake of time. This is their Dunder Mifflin pension. It's for Pamela. It's at age 65 and 2045. She gets $25,000 a year. So now that we already have that in there in our base scenario, when we run a Monte Carlo Decision Center, that's what it's going to be factored in if they have that income. But we want to show them an alternative that what if you were to take the lump sum? And so what we're going to do is we're going to go into plans, and if you've seen any of my other eMoney tip of the weeks, we always use alternatives. I already have these alternatives built out with a lot of things in a sample client, so I'm just going to click on this eMoney tip of the week one here and put it in advanced plan. And for those of you who've never watched my other tip of the weeks, we love to put everything under alternatives because we have one place where all of our things are, and then we can build out other scenarios. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add a remove. And what we're going to remove here is we're going to remove this income, which is the pension. So you'll see Dunder Mifflin pension. So we're going to want to go ahead and remove that. Now that's taken that away. That income source is no longer in here as long as that box is checked. Now when I do this, it's just going to say Dunder Mifflin pension. I want to hit rename. You can also do this when you're inside of Decision Center as well too. So I'm just going to put here, this is another trick we like to do. We'll put 1 dash. Anytime I want to hit multiple techniques in the same technique, I like to put 1 there so they're all in order. So I know that everything that has 1 I want to click on. Just helps them with the client. I'll show you that in a second. So we're going to put here, remove pension income, lump sum. I like to put it something easy that I can remember. Put it whatever it is you can remember. But now I know what that represents. I know that that's removing that income. And now that I've removed that income, I now have to show the rollover. So I'm going to put add new either transfer or investment. If you already have an IRA, I'll put a transfer in and just show the rollover coming in. But let's assume you don't have an IRA. This is going to be the easiest one. So you're going to click here to add a new, and you'll go down through all these different ones, and you click on investment. Then you're going to put qualified retirement, because that's what this is, and we're going to add a fact. Again, you could do this as a transfer if you already have an existing IRA. This client does, but I'm just going to show you for this illustration. And so what I'm going to call this is lump sum rollover from pension. It's going to be in an IRA. All right, and I'm just going to put in this particular one, and we can do this a bunch of different ways. We could go to the assets, just for the quick illustration's purpose. Let's say this pension is going to be $800,000. All right, then I'm going to go and put this at our balanced portfolio. And again, normally I would do this by asset mix if I had the IRA already and I want to show a transfer in. So there's two different ways you can do that. But for the sake of this illustration and time-wise, owner's going to be Pam, beneficiary's going to be Jim. You can click under beneficiaries to put in more. Anything else you'd want to put in this one, we're going to hit save here. So now we've just created this money that's going to be added to their portfolio. I'm going to go back in now that I've saved that, and I'm going to rename this. And I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to put 1. And you could have done that, by the way, when you were already in there. I just wanted you to see how I did that. So when I was naming it lump sum rollover from pension, I could have put that 1 there. Now this reminds me to put both these on at the same time. So now when you're talking to this client, and you're in Decision Center, and you're saying, Mr. and Mrs. Client, this is your probability of success that you have on your plan. And we like to illustrate this to clients by clicking on Monte Carlo and then clicking on Monte Carlo summary. We like it to be right there and facing them. We like to have the amounts that are on the accounts off the screen so they can't even see it. They focus on what matters. Okay, your base plan, you're at 86%. We're going to run an alternative, and this was called eMoney Tip of the Week, this particular one. And we already have these clicked on, so that it's already built out. So usually I will build a scenario called lump sum, and you can see right here they're much better off taking the lump sum. Now, this wasn't a realistic one. $800,000. It's probably not going to be a rollover for $25,000 income. I just made it that way because I wanted to show an impact. But again, by seeing these ones here, I know this is my way of telling me if this one's clicked on, this one is attached to it. If I have another one, I'll put 2s there. It's just my way to quickly illustrate that. And you can make these whatever name. By the way, you can also modify these in here, and you can change around the order that these are in. So I like to put them right beside each other, especially if I build out a dedicated scenario to this. I would probably move this up to be the whole way up here, just because I'd want it to be at the front of the conversation, so I don't even have to look down. So you can do that if you see that's the best thing for you and this client. By all means, do that. But you can see how we can quickly illustrate the impact. You can go under cash flow reports and talk to them about this, about how it will increase the amount of assets they have. And you can also have a distribution conversation where you can go under here under estate planning and talk about the impact of the distribution strategy by having more liquidity compared to the pension. You can also have an inflation conversation if you want to show the increased expenses. So you just turn on increased living expenses, move these back off, and talk about the impact of inflation because they have a fixed amount of $25,000. So these are a lot of different ways to have that conversation, but you can see how quickly we can build this out and have a meaningful conversation. And you can take it to the next level by turning on additional buttons. In addition to take this lump sum, does it weather a major market downturn better? Does it weather inflation better? We hope this tip helped educate and empower you to do more plans for your clients so that you can impact more lives through financial planning. If you have some great tips we don't know about, we'd love to hear about them. If you have a better way of doing what we just showed you, we'd love to hear about that, because we are a noble profession, and together we can elevate the profession.